better understanding of how the human body works and how different types of athletes recover from different types of sports-related injuries from a physical therapist standpoint. And going out, I kind of developed like a very concrete understanding of how different athletes cope with different injuries, and as well as like how a physical therapist goes about treating like each specific injury. So the first one is ACL surgery. ACL stands for anterior cruciate ligament. The recovery period is 6 to 9 months depending on the patient, and there's usually 7 different stages of rehab. The first stage is to get flexibility back to the knee, so that's kind of like your standard stretching, like left over right, lunge, twist, and cross your leg over in front. Then you work your way into like strengthening your knee and like getting the ligament back in shape, so that can include like light squats, RDLs, lunges, etc. Then you go into endurance exercises to make sure that your knee is fully flexible and you kind of conditioning your body to get back into playing shape. Then you go into coordination and agility once that those few stages are taken care of, and that includes like lateral hops, broad jumps, ladders, long runs. Then you take, basically it's called restoration of joint anatomy, and that's where every 3rd week of the month you take a few weeks off and you let whatever you're nursing heal, so it has time to grow into the body and has time to solidify. And then once you take those few months off, you get back into it with a few static and dynamic movements such as high knees, butt kickers, lunges, side-to-side hops. And then once that all comes together, then you're ready to go into full force conditioning and return to your sport. So these are just some of the exercises that I was going through. This is an RDL, this is a lunge, that's a full body squat, that's a lateral hop. These are broad jumps, and these are some agility drills that you can do on the ladder. And then, well, the video's not working, but this is a scar after the ACL surgery, or before, and that's how it should look afterwards. So the next one is labrum surgery. The labrum is right in your shoulder. That's 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the patient. There's 6 stages of rehab for this if everything goes right. To start, you do 10 minutes of icing followed by 20 minutes of heating. That allows the ligament to grow and expand into the shoulder, and then the icing allows it to solidify and all the muscles around it to close up. Next, you kind of want to regain your range of motion, so arm like all the way up, back. That's just basic stretches. Pull your arm across, pull it back over your head. Then you go into the strength and conditioning phase, which is basically a lot of band works, stretching, push-ups, ability tap, planks, just to stabilize the shoulder muscle. And then you want to work on increasing your rotator cuff. Normally, when somebody tears their labrum, it's due to the fact that their rotator cuff is very weak and they're either using it the wrong way or throwing it the wrong way. Next, you can go into the plyometrics, which is basically plank, shoulder tap stability, anything that will stabilize the muscle in your shoulder. If those go according to plan, you get back into full force conditioning and basically getting your body ready back into playing shape. These are some of the pictures. These are internal and external bands. Internal would be you move like this, external you move out. These are shoulder taps, those are push-ups, that's a plank, and this is the forearm to the wall stretch that opens up the shoulder. And then this is what it looks like after surgery, and that's what it looks like when it's fully healed. So the next one is Tommy John surgery. I actually had this my sophomore summer going into junior year. The recovery period is 12 to 18 months. There's really no like set stages to rehab because it's a full year and a half of trying to get your arm back into shape. But basically, what they have you do is they have you run and stretch, and you want to get rid of all the lactic acid that's building up in your body and in the elbow region. And then what I had to go through was they want to strengthen your scapulas, your traps, and your lats. Your scapulas are in your back, the traps are up here, and your lats are down here. For me, when I tore my ligament, it was because I had weak back muscles, and I was kind of throwing from the wrong angle, so that's why everything tore. So it's important to keep those muscles strong. Then you want to go back into flexibility, because when you have a surgery, you can't move your arm past a certain point, and and you want to regain your range of motion, your strength, everything else. Then you want to go into a light conditioning. The conditioning for this surgery is actually very important because for me, they took my hamstring ligament out and they put it in my elbow, so I had to kind of learn how to run and walk again, and then I had to get through the pain and get myself back up to running full speed, like throwing full speed, and doing everything like regular day activities. I had to learn how to carry those out again. So that stage right there, that's like 3 to 4 months, and then you get back into the throwing phase, which is, there's 4 phases. At first you start very close and you just let the elbow ligament loosen up and get used to it. Then you, as the months go on, you progress depending on how your elbow's feeling and your status towards everything. What helps a lot, and coming from a patient and other patients that I've worked with at my internship, getting ultrasounds and constant massages on the ligament is very beneficial to you, because if you have scar tissue that builds up, you're going to live with the pain, and you're not going to be able to have the full range of motion and flexibility that you need to play the sport. And your exercises progress as you get deeper into your rehabilitation process, and it depends on how your body's feeling overall. And then this is what it looks like after surgery, nice and neat. That's what it looks like when it's fully healed. And this is a picture that used to pitch for the Yankees, Jabba Chamberlain. They all get the smiley face tattoos. Alright, so now what I also learned is specific athlete workouts. So first one's for soccer and runner play. For runners and soccer players, they usually want to focus on flexibility and a lot of core and cardio endurance. They want to learn how to stabilize their core. They want to strengthen their lower half, so their glutes, their hamstrings, their legs, their calves. And they want to do a lot of cardio exercises, because as a runner and as a soccer player, you're always moving. You can't really get tired or you get taken out. And it's having a strong core is beneficial no matter what, because it just keeps you going. Football players have more of a full body workout because, as you know, the game is very intense and you can't really be weak on the field. So if a football player were to come into ML strength, they'd probably start by doing flexibility. Then they go into upper and lower half strengthening, and as well as core. So that include like squats, deadlifts, bench press, curls, pull-ups. And then they also want to do endurance and cardio, because 4 quarters, while it may seem short while you're on the field, it's actually very long and it's very tiring. And if you're tired out and you're slacking, then there's a good chance that you're going to get hurt. So now for baseball players, basically if you're a pitcher, you want to do arm strengthening program as well as lower half. But if you're a position player, you basically want a full body exercise. So they focus on flexibility, upper and lower half strengthening, and coordination. You want to be very flexible when you're playing this game. It's important to be very mobile, because you're not really standing still the whole time. And it's important to have good core and shoulder stabilization. Alright, so an everyday workout at the ML facility basically includes 15 to 20 minutes of stretching and foam rolling, so your muscles loosen up and you can take what they're about to put you through. What they first do is they put you through a series of core workouts, and the core workouts are never the same. It's always 3 different core exercises. They do 3 rounds, which last 30 to 20 seconds, and while it seems like nothing, it's still kick your butt. Then after the core round, you get a quick drink of water, and then the trainers go into an agility and mobility round where they work on linear and lateral movements, and they try and instill proper mechanics for lifting, playing the sport, running, and you want to carry those out, because if you don't, then you could get hurt. These rounds are 3 to 4 rounds apiece, and they last 20 seconds. And then after that, the athletes get into their specifically designed workouts in the areas that they wanted to improve on and depending on their goals. So my conclusion from my experience is I developed a passion for learning more about sports and physical therapy. I learned that rehabilitation is not just for you, it's a team effort with your doctor, your physical therapist, and yourself. And there has to be a certain amount of trust with everyone who's involved. And my mentor helped me to focus on setting long-term goals for myself that are not easy to get, but he instilled a very good work ethic in me where if I start now and keep working my way up, I'll eventually achieve those goals. And then I just want to thank my mentor, Demetrius, and Mr. Corsilia and Mr. Spiros for allowing me to take part in this experience. Yes.
You said that prior to workout, you do foam rolling and stretching,
Mm-hmm.
and I always thought you were supposed to do that after you worked out. So what does the foam rolling do?
The foam rolling before you stretch basically rolls out your muscles so they're nice and loose, and as you begin to work out, like you'll be able to notice that you're less tense when you're doing your workouts. My physical therapist, and the strength and conditioning coach says he never would foam roll after a workout. He'd normally go for a run or do stretching or something, because once you work out a certain part of your body, it's going to be kind of hard to foam roll it out as if you were in the beginning, and you're not going to get any benefit from that.
Connecting to career at all?
Yeah. So after doing this, I kind of wanted to further pursue becoming a physical therapist or an occupational therapist after I